Since I started freerunning in 2005, I've always looked up to these two incredible athletes and artists, Cato Aspmo and Oleg Vorslav. And with the help of Flow, I was able to bring both guys over to London to film exclusive content just for this channel. Both had been before, but neither of them had had much chance to train or film freerunning whilst they were out here. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to show them around some of my local spots, see what inspired them and their styles of unique movement, and also just to hang out and talk about life. It's interesting to note that the longer you've been freerunning, the less motivated you are to train every day, and sometimes it's more valuable just to train once or twice a week and have really inspirational sessions rather than try and train every day when you're not that motivated. So it was as much a visit for recreation as it was for action. Unfortunately, Cato was suffering with a recent injury to his shoulder, and although this didn't seem to hold him back once the cameras were rolling, I could tell that in between takes he was starting to suffer.
I'm rolling.
You okay?
Yeah.
What? I remember first seeing Oleg Vorslav's video, Dvin's Clan, when I was in school, sat on my school chair on a school computer in my blazer and tie, and showing everyone in the class. Once I saw it, I was like, this is what I want to do. What this guy is doing right here, that inspired me so much. That just felt like I was born with the DNA within me, that once I would see this movement with the two eyes I've been blessed with, I would be inspired to go and try and do the same thing. And that was a really big turning moment for me, and I know it was for a lot of other people in the community that were around back then. When they saw that video, that really showed people the next level. And then when I first spoke to Oleg and heard his story, to discover that he wasn't like us and he didn't go online and wasn't involved in the online community, he was very removed from that. He just loved movement. He didn't care about the politics of calling it freerunning or parkour or on the Urban Free Flow forum or parkour.net. All he wanted to do was just move, and he didn't care who he motivated with his movement. He didn't care who saw it. He just moved, and his friend wanted to capture it with a camera, so he let his friend film it. Even 100 years ago, before we could film anything or had photo cameras, nothing like this would be captured. It would just be heard of in mystery. It would be talked about through generations of people that once saw a performance of a guy like Oleg on some trees or something, and no one would ever have the opportunity to capture it. And that's, Oleg has the very pure thought like that, where it doesn't matter who sees or where it goes. The fact that video cameras were invented isn't anything to him. It's not a positive or a negative. They just exist, and someone wanted to capture it and put it on the internet. All he cares about is movement and enjoying the movement himself. In a way, filming Oleg and trying to capture his pureness with a video camera takes away from it. You can see it drains his energy. This guy just wants to move in his own way, in his own light, with no one else influencing it. And once you have an observer or someone there that's going to comment on something he does, or a video camera that's going to capture it and put it on the internet, where people can comment about it and give it positive or negative feedback, when really none of that matters. The only feedback that matters to you is yourself, and you know within yourself what you're doing is fun or not fun, or it makes you happy or not happy. And I think this kind of upsets Oleg, that once you put a video camera on him, it gives him that extra pressure of, oh, there are other people who are going to have an opinion on what I'm doing. And he doesn't want that, he doesn't need that, and he doesn't deserve that. So in a way, filming Oleg and hanging out with him, I felt bad that there was the pressure for him to do stuff, but at the same time, any magic you can capture from Oleg, it's a blessing for the community to be able to see this, and hopefully it will inspire future freerunners to understand his ways and try and move the same way themselves. I really don't know what the future holds for Oleg. I know he's a very intelligent guy. We have had some incredibly deep talks about life. He thinks very in depth about life, and he thinks about where humanity's going, and he cares. I don't know if he is aware of how much influence he could have over that. He's come from a small town in Latvia, and maybe that shadowed him to the power he could possess if he truly applied himself, and I'm hoping that he's just starting to realise that now, and that's why he reached out to me and wanted to hang out and come to London, because he's becoming more open to the idea of filming, because it is a platform for him to get his message, and I think he does have an important message to get out. It's just a shame that at the same time you see it takes some of the pureness away from him.
Oh shit, you okay?
I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
I remember seeing Cato's video years ago on Urban Free Flow, and he looked so jacked and ripped. It kind of made me jealous that there was another strong guy on the scene, but he was in such a different style that it was inspirational to me to see someone that was way bigger than I was doing double flips and all these other double twists and tricks. And for me to see that and think, wow, like you can be big and do all these amazing gymnastical tricks as well. But I'd never met him at this time, and he looked like an aggressive, mean guy, and the way he moved was so powerful that it kind of scared me. I thought maybe he's an angry guy, and then when I first met him, I couldn't believe how much of a gentle giant he was. He's a very quiet, humble guy that keeps himself to himself. He won't speak most of the time unless he's spoken to or has something really vital or important to add to the conversation. He's very similar to Oleg in the fact that he doesn't like to put a label on what he does, he just likes movement. He said he never really just trained free running, he would just see tricks. It's true evidence of once you can visualise something in your head, you can achieve it, and I watch this guy go through it. He'll work out every little aspect of where his body needs to be to achieve each movement that he's trying to do. And then you see him activate and then work through the motions physically. He'd create a trick in his head and then go and enforce the plan, like with the 360 roll bomb. He implemented that in his head first, did the necessary steps it would take him to master it, and then did it outside. He came from a judo background and did a little bit of weightlifting. These are very regimented art forms with structural paths to achieving your goals, and I think he applies that with his free running as well. Even on his off days, Cato is always trying to find some form of creative conditioning to do, and his incredible physique is testimony to that. Moving forward, Cato wants to work more in the stunt world, and I think he'd be great for that. He doesn't take life too seriously, and he doesn't mind taking a hit for the sake of good video. Also, his ability to work through injuries and put mind over matter is second to none, and I think that will really help him as he moves forward into a new career. He's a very free-spirited person, and he left mine along with Oleg with just a plane ticket to Vienna and no further plans. But I've no doubt that wherever they end up, they'll find new adventures and be able to go with the moment and enjoy life. It's always nice to have old friends and great minds come over to England and see them shine a new light with fresh eyes on old spots, as well as being with them while they experience new areas they've never been to or had the chance to visit before. Personally, I can't wait to see where these guys' careers end up in the next few years, and I'm very excited for the next time we cross paths.
Good. Fuck, man. God damn. Let's go home.